Well, we have Raptors news, and it's certainly a news break of all time. What's up, everybody? It's JJ Buckets. Yeah, we're going to talk about the Garrett Temple signing with the Toronto Raptors. If you missed it, I'll get into it, so don't worry. But before I fully hop into things, just make sure you're leaving a like on the video. It helps the algorithm out a ton. I know I say it a lot, but it really does. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Plus, if you plan on doing any responsible sports betting in the near future, just make sure to check out my link in the description below. So Garrett Temple is going to be joining Toronto on a one-year deal worth $3.2 million, and let's just call a spade here, not beat around the bush, and get right down to it. In terms of on-court impact, probably next to none. I mean, genuinely and respectfully, of course, for a guy that has obviously been a solid role player for a very long time. At this point in his career, he's not even really that, yeah, like he's not going to give you much on the court. He's going to be an end-of-the-bench guy. Maybe you see him like situationally in some lineups and some rotations, but realistically, he's going to be playing a lot of garbage time minutes. Yeah, that's the on-court impact. But where I do think this signing shines through, and quite legitimately, like the whole purpose of the signing is going to be the locker room presence. It's going to be the behind the scenes stuff. It's going to be the stuff that doesn't show up on the stat sheet necessarily. Yeah, I mean, as far as Garrett Temple goes, like, he is a positive locker room guy. There was a tweet that was posted yesterday when the signing was announced. I can't remember the name of the guy that said it, but I'll screenshot it. I'll share it on the screen here. Yeah, and it's just a link to, you know, a little interview that he had talking about the team and that he was currently on at the time, which was the Pelicans. And it reinforces the idea and the reasoning behind why Toronto brought him in. Again, he is there to lift spirits. He is there to bring good vibes. Yeah, bring good vibes to the locker room. That's the thinking behind this one, excuse me. And I mean, honestly, fair play. I guess not the worst move considering, you know, what you had last season, and it didn't necessarily seem like the vibes were vibing the entire season. And, you know, whether or not you want to look at little tidbits of Garrett Trent Jr., for example, being frustrated with Fred and his on-court play, I'm sure you can find that. Or, you know, the little, like, not scuffles, but like the little interactions between players where like you could just see things weren't entirely clicking in that locker room. This is a move towards that, and this is a move to having a healthy and positive locker room. And again, maybe for Masai Ujiri and Bobby Webster, who are still envisioning potentially just running it back and you know, seeing to what level they can compete amongst the Eastern Conference. They just want a ship that's going to sail smoothly, and they want obviously guys to get along. So, you know, you bring in a guy that's going to bring positivity and some good veteran leadership like that. Obviously, like, what, you have a little bit of it with like Thad Young, I suppose, but like, you know, adding more vets and adding more, you know, good locker room presence isn't always a bad move. So I think that's more or less just the ideology and the reasoning behind this. Now, I know I've seen some people upset that they would have rather see this spot go to a younger guy, you know, like a Downton that maybe has a little bit of upside as a role player, and I can understand the frustration there. But this is the direction that the team decided to go in. Who knows, maybe, you know, if somebody like that, like if somebody like a Downton really does impress, and they do have every intention of turning his current camp deal, you know, into a guaranteed contract, there's always room for a trade. I'm sure they could dump off somebody to a different team. I mean, I have a name in mind, but I don't want to get disrespectful on this channel. Or I guess super disrespectful. Yeah, so that's kind of where we land with this one. On-court impact, shit, man, you'll barely see it. off the court, in the locker room. That's where this is going to pay dividends, hopefully at least. And yeah, that is your Raptors news of the day. Yeah, that's pretty much been it for the video. Yeah, it's a very short and to the point conversation with this one. I really do think there's not really a lot of wiggle room, I would say, for interpretation here. But if you feel like I'm missing something, obviously drop it in the comments. Besides for that, folks, usual drill at the end of these videos, nothing ever really changes. If you haven't done so already, just take the second to hit the like button. I really do appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here. And yeah, it's been JJ Buckets. It's been a pleasure, and I will see everybody next time.